Thanks for joining us for another episode of Love, Marriage, and Everything in Between Countertop Talk. I'm Chef Shan.
I'm Mr. Official, and this is episode 24.
Yeah, 24.
It is. So, how was your workout week?
My workout week was, wow. I had a very good workout week. Definitely bounced back.
Yeah. And last week wasn't still a bad week because we work out the same days, but it wasn't our norm.
Yeah, we did. We did miss a couple of days. How about your workout week?
Great week. Back into my running groove, elliptical machine. I think next week I'm going to get back on a row machine. I was doing some light weights, but calisthenics in a row machine next week. So looking forward to it.
What are your goals?
My goals is just to be in the best shape I could possibly be in. I've gained a lot of muscle. I think I'm going to trim down a little bit more and then build myself back up with resistance bands opposed to weights. But that's it. I mean, I fluctuate like throughout the year. So this the season, I think I'm going to go in a little leaner and because the holidays coming up.
Well, you look good.
Appreciate it. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
So what we got on the topic?
Okay.
The docket for this week.
So for this week, we're going to have some fun. You know, our last episodes have been about serious topics, getting information out, and, you know, the world is on fire right now, right?
Boy, is it.
So I think that we should dive into like some light topics, some fun topics. Maybe we can get somebody to laugh, put a smile on somebody's face, brighten up their day. So we're going to go light today.
Let's do it.
Okay. So to kick us off with our first thought, what I'm going to ask is, let's see here. Things, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Marriage would be easier if. So.
You want me to start it?
Yeah, what's the first thing that come to mind?
Being on the same page with raising children. You ain't gonna hear that, but I had to say it.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, that's the first thing that come to mind, and that's I see where your head is at, because actually, the first thing that popped in my mind is that marriage is easy to me. You know, I feel like our marriage is easy, but that was a good point out. You know, because when I'm like, marriage would be easier if. I can't say if anything, but that is a good one.
I got another one now that I've had time to process it too. Yeah. It would be easier. Say the question again. I'm going to fill it in.
Marriage would be easier if
we had more elders in our family.
Okay.
I just feel like with marriage, everybody's up for the wedding. Everybody's up for the reception. Everybody's up for the honeymoon trip. But when things get rocky, such as not being on the same page with parenting or whatever that fill in the blank is, elders play a very important part in stabilizing that marriage 2 years, 3 years, 50 years beyond your marriage date. So that's what I think. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I appreciate the transparency. You know me, I'm always in like la la land, always thinking the grass is so green and manicured. And I really was like, man, I really don't have a hard marriage. I really can't say marriage would be easier if, but yeah, parenting is, we have not been on the same page with parenting. I would say ever, never, ever.
I think now we're more on the same page, but when the storm was heavy,
not completely.
You was over here and I was over there.
Yeah, but we still have our core values. Like you have different core values based upon how you were raised, and I have core values based upon how I was raised. So even though we know how to maneuver now and be a unit in front of the kids, our young men, I guess I should say, but we still have different value systems, I would say.
I wouldn't say,
I would say that.
in my opinion, I wouldn't say value systems. I think the whole premises of my style of parenting is not more so how I came up, is more so the sex, the gender of our children. I do think that if we had two girls, two young ladies, I think you would see a different part of parenting with me. But because we had males.
For an example, you believe in tough love. I don't believe in tough love. So that's why I'm saying, like, we have different value systems. I do not believe in tough love. You do. You like tough love, tough love. No. So that's what I'm saying. That's something that we just don't agree with. We don't align with,
I see what you're saying with that, but my parenting is still not based on tough love. Tough love is applied when needed.
But it's a part of being applied. It's in your toolkit.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
it's in my toolkit.
It's not in my toolkit.
Absolutely.
I ain't going in, let me grab this tough love.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Man, it's cool.
Okay.
You're right, though. I get what you're saying, but
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So certain things are just like embedded in us, where so you're gonna tackle a certain situation a certain way, and I'm gonna tackle, a situation a certain way. So like my toolkit may be like a hug,
making dinner even after they got smart with you.
No, I'm not doing that. But like a hug, love, more support, encouragement, so.
Dang, so what's in my toolbox?
Tough love. I would say encouragement. Yeah, I would definitely say encouragement. You are very encouraging. Tell it like it is.
True. True. You 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah.
But I do feel this is the closest we've been. We're still east-west, but we're closer than we've been. And it's crazy because our kids are adults now.
Basically. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me say this first, and then I'll pose a question.
Okay.
So the reason I feel like one of the reasons I feel like that we're on the same page now is because I can relate to you. I really do try to put myself in your shoes, and I really try to see where you're coming from in certain situations, instead of just saying, "Oh, you're being too hard, or you're being too strict, or you're being da 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 da." I really do now process things like, why is the white saying this?
I appreciate that, and I see that. And when we were bumping heads, I knew it wasn't a matter of just you wanted to bump heads because you're not like that. Mm-hmm. But I do understand you still have a lot of Southern ways, even though you grew up in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. You are extremely nurturing, but I'm glad, and I thank you for that, babe. I appreciate that, because I think you understand the method to the madness now when it occurs. And again, we still have different sets of tools, but I think the next chapter of our young men maturing into more of who they are, I think we'll appreciate this time that we're in now. So I'm very grateful that we are close, because I always thought, man, my marriage is perfect, man. Well, no problem. No, my wife don't trip on that. When adolescence hit, man, it was like being sucker punched. It was like out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, but also, just to give some perspective from my side of things, my family is heavy on the female side. And
yeah,
the men in our family, they are like kings. They are like catered to, you know how, my grandmother was with Sam, and it's just like the men are catered to, smothered. you know,
and
protected.
And it's very few men on your. I mean, it's more the women population on your side is crazy, but that was my main thing when we were raising our children. It's just that you can't raise boys the way you would raise a girl, you know, and.
No. But like in my family, the women
Mm-hmm.
are like handling everything. Like the men
Oh,
are
you're saying
catered
it from
to.
that
Yeah, the men are
perspective.
catered
You're
to. We
saying
got to
from
protect
that.
them. You know, yeah, because I mean, when a man, you know, when a man leaves out the door, you know, they have so much to deal with. So when you're inside of our home, it's a safety net. You know, it's a safety net. You know, we're going to fix your plate. You know, that's the thing that we do. We fix the men plates and stuff like that. You know, you're going to
y'all take the plates.
Yeah, we're going to cater.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cook. We're going to clean. You're going to be treated a certain way because outside is hell. It's hectic. You know, men go through so much. So that's something I watch my grandmother do, my sisters do. You know, it's just something that they did. You know, the boys were protected and they grow up to be men that are kind of like pampered.
Mm-hmm. And I remember a phrase we came up with like right before the storm hit with parenting. Mm-hmm. We used to always say, that's when we had our backsplash as a chalkboard. We like write different motivational things. Don't forget this. But we had a part of our chalkboard where we drew like palm trees, we had fruit, and it was home is Hawaii. Because that used to be our favorite place to go.
Yeah.
But our mindset with our kids was that when you come home, where, you know, it's like a vacation.
It's a
sanctuary. It's a safe space. And it's Hawaii. And so I look back and I find that intriguing because that was the goal. But we kind of established that right before the chaos hit with parenting. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't Hawaii much longer, but we tried our best.
What was it?
Hell. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy thinking of all that, man. But we made it through. We did survive.
We survived. Woo.
And that's that shows we were meant to be. So very appreciative of you, your growth. I'm sure you're appreciative of my growth. And I'm just happy to be here.
Me too, Bookie.
Happy to be here.
Riding a wave, and things are, you know, getting better.
They are.
You know, with our young men, you know, just maturing and things like that. And, you know, that's all we want.
And it's crazy because I try to remember these parts because, I mean, when we was coming up, we weren't perfect, right?
I know I wasn't.
It's crazy how, I don't know if it's boys or girls or just kids, they can switch just like that. Mm-hmm. Like out of nowhere. And a client of mine was talking to me about one of his sons one time and told me that. It was like, man, you just woke up. And I'm like, man, I'm listening. But I'm like, that's cat. There ain't no way you was dealing with all that. Then one day you wake up and I appreciate you, Dad. I see what you're saying. But, you know, I'm kind of seeing that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? Like, what changed that quick?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah. So, what else we got on the docket, Miss Taylor Perry?
Okay, so next on the topic, you know, one of the topics we're going to discuss today is called First Date Confessions. What really happened on our first date versus what we told people.
You want me to start with that too, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Our first date was lit, even though it was a test. Mm-hmm. Because I think we had that discussion. Where did we go? Was that the hotel? Was it the Marriott Waterfront?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Marriott Waterfront. And I was actually excited because it was like our first official date because we was kind of kicking it, but not really, you know.
No, that was our first time being with each other outside
of work.
Yeah.
Right. But we were still talking like homeboy, homegirl.
On the phone, but we never been out together. So this is our first date.
Right. So it was kind of cliche too because previously you had asked me about some wings from Friday and I was being El Cheapo and petty. Mm-hmm. But we went out. The vibe was nice. We had cigars. I got you your flats. and you offered to pay. And that to me was like, that's dope. It was no way I was going to let you pay. But the fact that, you heard just things I've talked about and what I've said, what I like to see. And I appreciate it. And was you serious?
No.
But yeah, I appreciated that. So.
Yeah, I think we both passed each other's tests because.
What was your test?
Well, I mean, I wanted to make sure you didn't want to see me go in my pocket, and you didn't. But I did offer to pay. You was like, no, I would never let you do that. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still was going to pay, but I wasn't going to like rock with you like that if you did allow me to pay. But you didn't. But it was cool because the bill was like only $60, and that was like way back in the day. It wasn't a lot.
I'm shocked you remember how much it was.
It was
like, it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot.
Because we got wings, drinks, and cigars.
Yeah. It was very minimal. So I was just like, if this is the case, if he will allow this, then, I'm not going to be rocking with him like that. He would be in the friend zone. Because I did enjoy your company. You were funny as I don't know what. You were like funny.
It was a great day.
And prior to that, I would come to you with my male drama anyway.
I was plotting though.
You would give me good advice. I'm like, oh, he gave some good advice.
Because I'm like, she gonna come home, but I was plotting. When you used to come to me, when I was playing your homeboy, I knew what I was doing, but I felt like I couldn't give you feedback that was too obvious, like what I was trying to do. But I was like, I'm gonna get her eventually. So it was the waiting game.
Yeah, so that was the thing. Like that defining moment was going to determine were you going to remain in the front category or were you going to be more than that.
It's funny that we both was on that.
Yeah, but we like really, really hit it off. Whereas though we were like inseparable.
From that point on, it was up. Yeah,
it was just like from that point on, and it was just like such a breath of fresh air. And something that I really enjoyed about you, I could just show up being me.
I felt the same way.
It was no mask. It was no, I didn't have to be all buttoned up tight and all of that. I could be carefree. And anybody that know me, I'm like, I could be a little rough around the edges sometimes.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And I think a lot of people don't know too, you were very funny. So for me, I was feeling the same thing because most women that are as attractive as you are, they may not have that same attractiveness on the inside. But you're right. That night, I mean, we were laughing. We were there for a while. We were there for a while. And then when I walked you to your car, we were still talking for a while.
And that too is crazy because by us being friends and all of that pride, we've been together for a long time. Wasn't like really into kissing, but I kissed you down that night.
You did.
I kissed you down.
And then after that, I think we talked on the phone when we got home. As I said, call me when you get home. So it was kind of like a middle school relationship on a first date because we was on the phone all night.
It was.
Yeah, but it was rare. Like, and that's what my cousin Dawn had a girlfriend that you could do everything with. And I just didn't, I thought she was a unicorn. I didn't think that it existed, even playing video games in front of it. Because, for our generation, a lot of women didn't like that. But how funny you were, I could trip with you. I could tell you my serious things. I could tell you, it was just like, I didn't think that I could really have a companion that was also like, which to this day, like my best friend. It was so easy. It wasn't like I was trying to put you in a box or trying to make you this. You came as you are. I came as I was, and it's the wrap. 21 years later, 20 years married, right, and 21 years together. Because we moved quick.
Yeah, we did, but it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm so thankful God brought us, together because it's really been great. It's really been great.
It has been. It's been a journey, and we got humbled during that one time of our marriage. But anything worth having is worth fighting for. And we fought. We had great friends around us that had kind of been through what we had been through already. That was extremely important during that phase, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for them. But yeah, absolutely, we made it. We made it.
Yeah, we did.
So what else we got?
Okay, so next on the topic, let's talk about horoscopes. Right now.
That's your thing. I don't really know the signs. I know my sign, yeah. You know every month how they act, when to cut off. I don't know all that.
Well, you don't need to know all of that. You just need to know your sign. Okay, so right now we're in Libra season.
Yeah.
I have a birthday coming up. Yeah, I have a birthday coming up. Libra. I love being a Libra.
So what are the traits of Libras? I know what the traits of you. I'm asking to see how you align, because some people that are Taurus aren't. Sometimes you can tell somebody's a Taurus. Sometimes you can't.
I can always spot a Taurus, but as for Libras, we are very loyal, very confident.
Check.
We are beautiful souls. The reason why I say beautiful souls, because we're good-hearted people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are a scale, so we can be unbalanced. So you can get nicey, and we can also be a little nasty if you tip it. But anytime we tip the scale, it's for a reason. We are not
like your neighbor taking your groceries just delivered to your house and act like she ain't got them, and then the son bring them to the door.
Yeah. Yes.
You was ready to go off.
Yes. At my big age.
All right, you're right. Go ahead.
That's a topic for another day. But you have to do something to us in order for us to go off. And we're very big on just a value system. What's right? What's wrong?
That story is that.
Yeah, because I was about to, how. Let me just say this. I'm 5'2", right? I'm 5
feet.
No, I'm not. I just went to the doctors. I'm 5'1" and like 3/5 or something. Okay. So the doctor said I could round up to 5'2". Not a big deal. So I'm 5'2". My neighbor is like 6'4". She is tall. She's like, tall as shit.
She's like 5'10".
Yo, she is like 6'4".
But let me tell the story. So we have our groceries delivered, and sometimes those groceries will wind up on the wrong doorstep. Oftentimes, before you started getting a pen, right? So you were on a mission this day to get these groceries. I forgot what you needed them for, but long and short, you're like really looking, and then you realize this is our neighbor's front door.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said you was going to say something, I was concerned, but
you said don't say anything.
I did. I was like, they're going to refund us, let it ride. But there's a value system in a Libra. You could not let it go. So you was outside about 30 minutes, and I don't know what I was doing. I'm like, Shannon not back yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally, text you like, hey, what's up? Where you at? You told me what was going on. And from what you told me, I could envision how it all occurred, because you wanted the groceries. The fact that she lied to you about having the groceries, and you had a picture of the door, which it was her door.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you was ready to go off. And then for her grown son to come to the door and say he brought the groceries in. What she said, her mother had them. She had groceries too.
First she said she didn't have it.
Any of the things.
She said she didn't have it at all. Didn't have it at all. Then I showed her the picture of her door. Then she said, her mother ordered some groceries, but her mother took all the groceries.
And then the son came to the door and said, no, I did bring those items in, tomatoes, cabbage, etc. But she gave you everything except the almond milk. And that's she knows she need to run that almond milk. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if she was embarrassed because you caught her up, but come on, man. If your neighbor groceries, especially since you fed her before at your food truck,
or like, stuff come over here and I return it.
Absolutely.
But like, who does that?
So what you were saying about a Libra, yeah, you check all the boxes because you are a very sweet, loving, nurturing friend, family member, etc. But once somebody gets you wrong, it's very hard for you to recover.
Yeah, I'm a go dog because I wasn't leaving her. We were out there going back and forth. You
felt like she was trying to little girl you. That's what it was.
Yes. And I'm like, yo, if I gotta fight this 6'4" woman, I was going to fuck her up because I was just so mad. And I was like, you know what? I can't. I'm not leaving here without the groceries. I had to be very aggressive and firm. Like, yeah, I'm not leaving. I don't know what you need to do, but I need the groceries.
And that was before the son came.
Yeah. So he hearing all of this back and forth because we're going back and forth. She's refusing to give the groceries. And I'm like, I'm not going nowhere without it because I know it was here. This is your
she
door.
Popped him in the back of his head.
And he comes to the door. He said, yeah, we have it.
And he's about 23. Good for him, for being honest. But I know when he closed that door, I know she popped him in the back of his head.
And that's sad. And what makes it so bad is that this is our next door neighbor. This is not somebody that's a few door down. This is our next door neighbor. I'm like,
yeah. So you check all the boxes for a Libra. You check very loyal, like probably too loyal sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's Libra season. I can't wait to celebrate you. When this drop, will it be your birthdays?
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be this will drop on your birthday.
Yeah, well.
So happy early birthday, babe, because when this drop is gonna be your birthday.
Thank you.
Excited to celebrate you.
So what are some of the characteristics of a Libra that I have that you really love?
I just said it. I love that you're loyal. I love that you're loyal. I love that you're very loving. And that's just not to me. You are, if somebody can get in your inner circle, it's, you are a blessing to have as a friend, as an associate, whatever. And I love that you're beautiful inside and out. Your interior matches your exterior perfectly. Mm-hmm. Perfectly. So what do you like about a Taurus? Because we was talking the other day and it seemed like you've dated a lot of Taurus.
Everybody.
You have a type.
I have a type. A type is definitely Taurus.
Why?
Taurus are very powerful. Mm-hmm. They command and demand attention. Like when a Taurus walks in a room, it's just a certain type of energy they have. They have a presence. They have a presence. And that's something that I like about a Taurus. Their presence, the power, the confidence, and
the temperament.
The temperament I do not like, but that's something that every Taurus have. They have it's just a switch. It's no leading up to. It's just off on. Mm-hmm. So that's something that you're going to have to just take. All Taurus have that like switch. They can go off just like that, but the good qualities is, the dependability. I would say a Taurus is loyal as well. Very good with money. Mm-hmm. Most Taurus are very good at.
Really? That's a thing for like
every Taurus that I know. Now, I mean, of course it's going to be an exception to a rule. Mm-hmm. But I have a best friend that's a Taurus. Okay. She was schooling me. Now, she was a teen mom, and I didn't have no kids until, how was I when I had
23.
DJ? 25 when I had DJ. So she's a teen mom schooling me about finances, what to do, save your money. When you pay a bill, because something I used to do, I used to pay my gas and electric partially. You just pay enough so they don't cut it off. So she taught me like, no, you don't do that. You got to pay the whole bill. You got to pay the whole bill.
Why were you doing that though? Just to save more money in your pocket? So you up there putting $250 on a $500 bill.
It's because you're just putting enough in it so it don't cancel. But she like, no.
If that ain't the most ghetto thing.
But I'm just keeping it real. But she knew. She was a teen mom. She had her own apartment. So she's paying her bills and everything like that. And I lived by myself as well as a teenager, but I'm just doing the bare minimum because that's what I saw.
Right.
So, just and you're like that too. Like you're not going to splurge or do anything if you have a pending bill. You're going to make sure bills are paid. You're going to make sure this is done. It's just like, okay, no fun exists because we have to do this. This is important.
Right.
Because me, I was raised by Jasmine, and Jasmine.
You live every day like it's your
yes.
Every day is your last. Like
yes. Tomorrow's not promised.
But that, you know what? We've been east and west on that too, but it wasn't an issue. We just kind of blended.
Well, I think we blended well because we both always had like good income. So we always had good income, whereas though we kind of like balanced.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it was just like.
But I'm just saying, like, you never did that with any of our bills when we were living in the apartment. You kind of.
Well,
you handled everything like up front.
Yeah, I did. That's because I went through what I went through, when I was paying partial things, So my best friend prepared me for you.
Right.
She
so did.
Her, and then also my older sister, she was very good with money. And I would like just do dumb stuff because I always had good income young. I would buy a fur coat. And she'd be like, you just bought a fur coat? Like, how much money do you have in your bank account?
Right.
How much money do you have in your checking? How much money do you have in your savings? You could have your own home because I was living on my own, but I was living in my mother's house because she moved to Delaware.
Right.
So I'm paying my mother's mortgage. This isn't her name. So my sister would always school me like, get your own house in your name, build your credit up. You're doing dumb stuff with your money,
Right.
So she would always check me, far as finances and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm real good with money now,
Yeah. And I think that's more of a trait of a young adult too, because I had a moment like that when I was living with my old man when I was in college. And, I was making good money, right? But I would take his car. He worked for City Hall. So I would take him to the subway and then I would have his car, go to school, do whatever. So one day he came, it's funny because I was just talking to our son about this, about how to think through things. North, south, northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. And he came home one day and I think maybe I didn't put gas in his car. And, I used to have all my shoes lined up in my room, right? Where I was staying. I had like 3 rows of shoes, maybe 6 or 7 shoes. And I don't know, he was just on one that day. He came in and he was like, he said something about the gas. And he was like, you know what, Dwight? He said, you got a car right here on the floor. I was like, what? He was like, how much are each pair of those shoes? I said, probably about $100, $125. And he said, so count how many shoes you got. And he said that would be a car. So I didn't really have bills, anything like that, but it made me think a different way. Like, dang, I got 6 times 3, 18 pair of shoes right here. I have 1 pair of feet, but I'm taking his car every day, making sure I turn the volume down before I turn it off. Got to remember to put gas in his car. And that was one of those things that grew me up with my money. Like, okay, I can make it do this. I can make it do that. So I think we all growing up, we have those like immature things. Because even like take it to business right now. If I talk to a 20 or 21-year-old right now about life insurance, they're going to tell me to kick rocks. It's not important, But that same 20, 21-year-old might plan a trip to go to Turkey Caicos or whatever. You know what I mean? Because that's more important to them. So I think that's just a trait of being younger, you know. But I didn't know that was, well, that's something you said you see in Taurus. But
very financially savvy, you know, good with money, good with planning, very, I would say, logistics. You know, most Taurus can map things out and plan things out very well.
But loyal. I know, like for me, one of the things I know on most Taurus is that if they rock with you, they're going to go in. But if you cross them, it's the point of no return. It's, you can never come back from crossing a Taurus, like ever. Like if you're in, be grateful. But if you cross, I'm just being honest. If you cross, it's over. Don't mean I don't forgive you, but you'll never have close proximity to me again. Stop.
Then you gonna do the hands like
just being honest.
Okay.
You silly, man.
You ain't playing with them. But yeah, so definitely that. But what is one sign that I would say in dating that you would stay away from, like prior to being married?
None, because I didn't know the traits of the sign.
Okay. Well, for me,
I didn't go off of that.
It was a Scorpio. Like I always wanted to stay away from a Scorpio.
Wow. What's their traits?
Scorpios are very fun people. They're going to be a lover girl if they are a female. If they are a male, a lover boy. They're going to make you feel like you're the one and only. It's going to be a good time, and they are a mess. They liars.
What month is that?
Let me just tell you this. We have a son.
Oh.
That's a Scorpio.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have a niece. And we call them both politicians.
Yeah.
They want to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to make you feel good. And that's just what it is. Truth. They're going to make you feel good, stroke your ego, yada, 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 and just...
Yeah. You know, those, understanding those signs, a lot of people like it. That's like astrology, right? Is that what they call it? So I have a buddy that was saying there are other races that will intentionally plan to have a baby in a certain month because of the compatibility of that sign with the two-parent sign.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I mean, that's very interesting to know, like, if that plays a part with like parenting as well. Like, could it be that your child is a sign that you're just not compatible with?
Yeah, I think that's just, you know, people to people. Just because somebody is your child, is still a person, it's still a relationship, it's still, you know, things that, you know, you still want to be, you know, you not want to be, but, you know, that compatibility aspect of things. So, for an example, okay, I'm a Libra. Okay, my mom is a Sagittarius. My sister is a Sagittarius, right? They always had a ball together. They had such a good time together. And I'm like over here, Libra, like all alone.
That's why you was with Mabel?
Yeah, I'm all alone, like with Granny, all alone. But my mother and my sister, they just having a good time. Their personalities was more compatible. I'm very, you know, I like to have a good time, but at the end of the day, I'm always going to like do the right thing. I'm not like, okay, I'm the one to be like, you think that's a good idea? Maybe we shouldn't do that.
Right. They not thinking like that.
I can't roll with them.
Right.
Because they want to have fun. And my mom was very fun. My sister, very fun. And I'm messing it up. I'm messing up the fun.
Yeah, they all, I mean, looking back, their spirits are definitely both the type of individuals that, you know, always find a good time. But it really makes me think now. I want to look up my zodiac signs to see what signs I'm compatible with. Like,
look it up real quick. See if
I don't have my phone.
Let me see. I just want to see if our signs are compatible, because I actually never checked that, because I just have a love for, you know.
They must Taurus. Be if you have always dated Taurus. I mean,
Yeah, but that don't mean we're really compatible. It's just that's my attraction, to it.
Taurus, what versus a Libra? Compatibility.
So let's see
what chat say. Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and pleasure. So right away, there's a natural connection between them. However, their compatibility is a bit of a push and pull dynamic because they express Venus in different ways. What does that mean? Strengths in a relationship, shared love of beauty and comfort, agree. Romantic connection, balance of energies. Taurus is grounded and practical, while Libra is social and diplomatic. That is wrong for you. You are not social. Together, they can balance stability with sociability. Potential challenges, decision making. Libra is indecisive and likes to weigh every option, while Taurus is stubborn and set in their ways. This can lead to frustration.
I think that's
role reversal, because I'm the indecisive one sometimes. Yeah. Social versus homebody. Libra enjoys being out mingling, engaging with people, while Taurus prefers the comfort at home.
That's different.
That is different.
Yeah, because I'm a homebody. You like to be out.
Conflict styles. Taurus can be blunt or silent when upset, while Libra avoids conflict at all costs. Issues may get swept under the rug. I think that's on point.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, so those signs, I never really got into that, but it's interesting to see, the thought process behind that.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it. That's our topics for today. We wanted to keep it light, keep it fun.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been talking about some serious issues. There's some serious things going on in our world right now, but it's kind of cool to have a break. So we got to think about next week, your birthday. Right. Record in a different setting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. So this week, I want to say a message on gratitude. A very wise woman once told me, you got to appreciate the level that you're already at before expecting more. And a lot of times we aspire and we dream, and there's nothing wrong with dreaming, but we aspire for things while not being gracious for the things that we have. A lot of us have exceeded a lot of the goals in which our families may not have accomplished, as far as graduating college, earning a job in which you earn this amount, being a first-time home buyer, etc. And while we always want to expect more of our lives, be gracious for what you've accomplished. Be gracious for the things that you have experienced and your family has been able to experience. And most importantly, be gracious for those people in your life that you really care about, because tomorrow is not promised for any of us. So until next time, keep dreaming, because when you stop dreaming, you stop growing.
Okay, so we'll see you next week. Be safe and be blessed. Subscribe and comment.